I'm coming to you from my white privilege closet. Anyway, I was responding to my post that I posted the other day where there was a lot of comments from people saying, like, how could I vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump? They're both terrible options. So I wanted to just give you some three really solid points about why you should vote for Biden. A, because Kamala Harris is his vice presidential pick. That's one. Two is healthcare. The Republicans got into office, Donald Trump got into office and wanted to repeal and replace Obamacare. All he attempted was to repeal. They've had 4 years to come up with a plan, 4 years to come up with a health plan that's going to be better, and that's going to address people who have pre-existing conditions in this country. There are 130 million people with pre-existing conditions that will be left without health care if they repeal Obamacare with no plan to replace it. Climate change is not a hoax. It's real. It's happening. There are fires. There are floods. There are more hurricanes this year than we've ever seen. And it's been happening for the last few years. And it's an international, global issue. We are the only country in the world that has a political party that pretends that climate change is not real. We are Syria. So if you want to look up to Assad, who uses chemical warfare on his own people, then that's who you can look up to for the other person who doesn't believe in climate change. The third thing is we're in the middle of a global pandemic that our president pretends is not happening. 206,000 Americans have died. This is a global pandemic. So if you believe that climate change is a hoax or the pandemic is a hoax, then you need to turn on different news sources that are not in this country. Watch the BBC, watch Al Jazeera. They report on the pandemic. It is a global pandemic. It's not a joke. I know people who have died. I know people who've gotten sick. And we have the ability to elect somebody who's going to address it. And he's going to put a cabinet together that reflects what this country should look like, not just old white guys who are fucking racist and pissed off that we had a black president. And for all of the people on there, on my Trump supporters who are like, oh, shut up about racism being over. We wrote the Declaration of Independence saying we want freedom from Britain when we had 200,000 slaves in this country. That's what happened. And then we built on that, and we had more slaves, and we had more, 250 years of it, actually, stealing parents from their babies, forcing people to do the work to make this country rich and prosper. And then after that, we still enslaved them by creating laws in the South that prohibited them from being in the same places as us, or the same pools, and drinking from the same water fountains. So no, racism isn't over because we had a black president, you fucking morons. It's not over. The reason why we're in this situation today and why racism is bubbling even more than it has been in the past years is because we had a black president, and there are white people in power that think that that means the whole world is taken over by black people. We should be so lucky. So you vote for Joe Biden for equality. You vote for Joe Biden for doing something about climate change, and you vote for Joe Biden for doing something about the pandemic, which frankly, my third grade nephew could have had a better response to this pandemic. We are on the brink of a huge economic collapse because Trump has done nothing. My nephew might not be in third grade. He might be in sixth. I don't know. I'm not that great of an aunt.
You heard about my ex-boyfriend, right? 50 Cent and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's going on between you? I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening? Because you said he was your favorite ex-boyfriend, and then what does he do? He's supporting Trump?
He says he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which, by the way, isn't a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook. So I haven't heard back from him yet, but I am willing to, seal the deal in more ways than one if he changes his mind and publicly denounces Donald Trump. I might be willing to go for another spin, if you know what I'm talking about.
Family, as you just heard, this dried up, shriveled, raisin-faced bag of dog shit with her tone-deaf ass just spewed a whole bunch of shit out of her mouth that cannot get a pass, nor can the behavior of this dumbass bedbuck 50 Cent. Family, we are in a critical time in this country right now, and we don't have time to be giving people passes for this type of ignorant, foolish, and stupid behavior. Before we get into what I'm going to address here dealing with this issue, when you have an individual like 50 Cent, a lot of people look at him and call him successful because of the things that he's done and accomplished. Can't take anything away from him there, but see, here is the problem. When you are a grown black man that has the mind state of an adolescent child, you don't understand power, and you don't understand your place or role amongst society as a part of the black male leadership class and the warrior class. And that role is, we are the defenders of our image and our people, and we damn sure do not let these crusty-faced alabastresses dictate to us how we're supposed to conduct ourselves as black men. You will never see a white man being dictated to by a black woman about what he should do for his people and his race. So before I go in on Chelsea, let's take a look at this tweet right here. As you all know, the situation, and you've heard it from Chelsea Handler's own mouth, you see what's going on with 50 here. He's basically broken. He's been that way for a long time. Any person that runs around with a goddamn snitch like Tekashi 6ix9ine and then you claim him over your own flesh and blood son, see, that off code bullshit right there, that already tell you everything you need to know. But see, we're gonna look at his own tweet here, and we're gonna get into a couple of things about this because this has to be addressed. He's got the looking eyes here. What? Another spin? Fuck Donald Trump. I never liked him. For all I know, he had me set up and had my friend Angel Fernandez killed, but that's history. With a LOL. Okay. Now you see Paleface here, the clip that you just saw. Cackling and kikiing with Jimmy Fallon. Let's go on down here and look at in this comment section of this tweet. You see this one user right here. Damn, 50, you could have done better than this. The fact she basically said you are black, that you need to vote a certain way. If that ain't being a racist, I don't know what is. Now, look in here. Chelsea Handler herself. Honey, does this tweet mean we can count on a vote for you for Joe Biden? I'm happy to discuss this with you privately. My phone number is still the same. Yours isn't. I've tried calling you. I'm not going to scroll down any further, but we're going to get into something, man. Listen. First things first. These bedbucks, and that's what I'm calling him, and these goddamn bed witches do not get cover from us in black society. Especially when you embarrass us on a public stage this way. You see, what he's showing you is when he hooked up with her, that was viewed as a damn accomplishment. Because, see, no black man with self-respect and that sees himself as a representative of his people would allow this bitch to even talk to him that way. Now, you let that shit sink in for a minute. Now, furthermore, you sit here and you see how she talks to him that way. That gives you an indication of some of the shit that was going on between those two when they were involved or were an item, whatever you want to call it. That lets you know exactly where his head is as far as black empowerment. Because see, think about it. If you put this son of a bitch, I'm talking about 50 Cent. Yes, I'm calling him exactly what I'm saying. I'm not mincing any fucking words. I'm going to get in on that Chelsea Handler bitch in a minute. But far as him, if you put his ass in a leadership position, okay, let's just say he was the head of a standing military that was responsible for defending a nation. Is that the weakness? Is that what all it takes to get to your punk ass? How many times in history have we seen the downfall of black society behind white women? Whether it was a lie they told, or whether it was some buck broken ass Negro like this bastard that sat up there and got weak, all because she decided to throw some white girl magic his way. And as far as her, the shit that she was saying earlier that you all saw, talking about Donald Trump being a racist, this is the problem with these so-called white allies with her little closet moderate racist ass. She is tone deaf to our issues. Both Joe Biden and Donald Trump are white supremacists. They just have different methods of operating. One is in your face. The other tries to hide and smile and tell you that he's for you when he's not. Look at their fucking behavior. Just addressing the Democrats for right now. The Democrats, as I like to call them. You come out here with this booty to the polls bullshit, trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator amongst black men as if that's all we think about. Okay? We got race soldiers running around here killing our people left and right, black men and women, and none of that was brought up. Nothing about economic tangibles. You just think you're going to throw a bunch of goddamn strippers in our face, and that's supposed to get us to go and vote? Name another group that they do this to. See, this bitch, Chelsea Handler, none of what I just said is offensive to her because she's not one of us, first of all, nor does she look at black people with any type of dignity. See, we're going to have to cut this bullshit out about everybody looking at us like the entertainment trash can people. That's going out the window with foundational black Americans. That we are not tolerating that bullshit anymore. The new standard is being set. The black vote is a business transaction, and either you come talking business or you get the fuck up out of our faces. We're not playing that bullshit. We're literally at war for our very lives out here. And you got this jackass alabaster sitting up here trying to act as if one side is better than the other. Notice she didn't bring up anything about Breonna Taylor, punishing no race soldiers, nothing about reparations. What the fuck are we voting for goddamn Joe Biden for? What the fuck are we be voting for Donald Trump for? See, when you ask those damn questions of people, you don't get any answers on the whole, we got to get Trump outside. Okay, let's look at something. Many people have pointed this out before, but I'm going to say it on this channel. I'm not for either one of them. Both of them are white supremacists. But if you're really going to look at things from a logical standpoint, that bastard has not put together any specific policy that harms black people. And in the 4 years that he's been in office, he hasn't done that yet. Okay? Nothing to directly harm us yet. All this fear mongering about Trump. See, those are cowards talking as far as in black society. Let me break this down and be real clear about what I'm saying. Instead of the open, in your face racism, so now you have to either deal with it and you can't hide from the reality of what white supremacy is in America, they want shit to go back towards the Democrat side, which is Joe Biden, pretending to be your fucking friends, allies, whatever you want to call them. But they hate you just as much, if not more, behind your damn back. It's better to deal with the snake in open grass so you can see how to kill it than the one in high grass where you don't know where it's going to strike from. It's as simple as that. Now back to 50 Cent with his butt broken bitch ass. When you sit up here, man, and conduct yourself like a big ass plantation buck, and people look at you as a success, here's the problem that I have with that. The younger generation of warriors cannot be divorced from integrity. Integrity is supposed to be worth more than money. You need money, yes, you do need money. But all money isn't good money, okay? And when you do acquire a measure of wealth, you're supposed to know how to manage it and use it in the best interest of your people. Now, if you disagree with that, look where Bill Cosby is right now, okay? All that wagging your finger and pointing at black folks, telling us what we need to do and all of this, you wasn't building up people around you and putting people on so that you would have people to defend you when these damn alabasters came after you. See, we have to learn from things in both past history and recent history. And you do not repeat the same mistakes once you learn. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. If these bastards on either side are not talking about the agenda which we have put before them, then they don't get our votes. It's just that simple. You cannot do that to any other constituency. See, I'm going to show you why it's so offensive. Take 50 Cent's behavior. Let's scroll on back up here and look at his damn tweet. Keep it in mind everything that you just heard Paleface say to him. Switch his race to Asian. Switch his race to Hispanic. Switch his race to Arab. Switch his race to definitely a white man. And tell me how his community would look at him then. You see, those other communities that I just named, those other different races, they have not divorced themselves from their integrity. And when somebody out of line gets out of line like that in their community, they handle that shit ASAP. They are ostracized and cut off from their people because they are going against the best interests of the group and the collective. And there's a punishment mechanism in place. Now, I know a lot of you are saying that in black society, we don't have the economy to punish people. We may not have it in an economic sense, but I'll tell you what we do have it in the sense of social capital, social currency. When a motherfucker does the shit that this bastard sit up here and did, we cut them off. We show them you no longer have the support of your people. See, each black man, and I'm gonna have to drop a video essay on this. Each black man should consider himself a walking kingdom, okay? Now, how we govern ourselves affects the people around us. And as a black man, you're supposed to be in a leadership position no matter where you are if you're of age. And if you're a young black man, you're supposed to be a leader in training. Because whether you want to be or not, come one day, the people around you, the women and children are going to look to you for leadership advice. And even if they don't come to you directly, they're watching your example. The next generation up under you is always watching your example to see how they're supposed to conduct themselves as young black men and young black women. And we have this goofy flunky up here that all it takes is to wave some white pussy in front of him and he rolls over like a trained fucking pet, because that's what he is in my eyes and any other self-respecting black man that sits here and looks at this damn foolishness. That's unacceptable. We cannot have him be the standard for the next generation or anybody like him. You see, I would just go in on the behavior, but I have to go in on the individual that has repeatedly shown fuckboy behavior in the sense of embarrassing black society. See, 2020, I'm going to tell you something, family. If you've got nothing else from 2020, you should get this. It's been a year of clarity. It's been a year of seeing where the pieces are on the board as pertains to foundational Black American society. We know where everything stands, and the only way that you don't is if you don't want to see it. And one of the things that we're going to have to do to secure our empowerment in this country, when we see cancer in the body, it must be cut out and removed. We can't keep holding on to motherfuckers because we think they're talented entertainers, have a personality that is alluring or attractive, and we damn sure can't just be judging the fact by who has money. See, that's another thing that fucks black society up. We always looking at who got money. Ain't nothing wrong with aspiring to be successful or wanting to learn what another wealthy person has done to get to that point. But when you start to sacrifice integrity and you throw the rest of your people under the bus, or your behavior is off code like this son of a bitch, it's time for you to go. I want you to go back in your minds, for those of you on this channel that are familiar with Black history. Everybody should be familiar with Black Wall Street. Let's go back to that time period. In order for our ancestors to build that up and to get that to where it was, do you think that they could have done so with a bunch of fucking 50 cents running around? That all it took for you to throw to everybody else under the bus was some white pussy? Do you think you could have been a coon during that time? See, our people understood back then, when the racism was similar to how it is now, was upfront and in your face, it wasn't an option for you to go and deal with white society. It was before any type of laws were passed that allowed us to integrate and intermingle in between them. So you knew that either you were going to ride with your people or you weren't going to get it no other way at all. We knew we had to stick together back then. Integration was one of the worst things that hurt black society. So in order for them to build Black Wall Street up and get it to be what it was, before, lo and behold, the lie of a white woman destroyed the damn place, people had to stick together. It was either we got it with our people or we didn't get it at all. And that took integrity. It took hard work. Because when we're left alone, we shine. That's been proven time and time again. That's why they always have to sabotage us more than any other group in this country. We're the only group that's targeted and sabotaged the way that we are here in America under the system of white supremacy. They leave every other group alone to build for one damn reason. They've submitted to it. Most of them are trying to actually be white and claim white on all their ID and their paperwork. They call themselves white. They aspire to practice the same anti-black racism against us as the dominant society. So the counterpart to this is when you have fuckboys like 50 Cent who are too dark to actually be white, they still aspire to be accepted amongst them. And for this motherfucker and his counterpart, the bedwench, getting some white pussy or some white dick is the next best thing to being in the dominant society themselves. See, I'm gonna tell you another reason, another way that you can recognize motherfuckers with this mentality. Anybody with that white man's ice is colder mindset. When you start hanging around fuck boys like a Tekashi 6ix9ine that you know is running around here snitching on people left and right. When you start doing all types of off-code shit, when you got so much smoke for your own people, particularly black women in his case, but you don't say nothing to this motherfucker talking to you like you a little child, that's acceptable? How many of y'all think any black women that he dealt with could have come out telling him to do that without him cursing them out from one end of this damn country to the other? How many of y'all think that? See, the standard is going to have to be, it's going to have to be a unanimous consensus amongst us that when people do this kinds of shit, those of us who are on code, we make it clear that, hey, you were out of line. Either you get on code or the code gets on you. And I'm going to go as far as saying this. There are certain individuals that we just do not need to reclaim. They've shown us where they stand. Black men and black women alike. There are too many out here that are just not worth reclaiming. Let them go where they are, over there with the people that they're trying to impress. And we must make it clear that where you go is where you stay. When something happens to you, do not come over here looking for cover from black society or new black media. You better find your protection around the people whose asses you're kissing. See, consider this. Perhaps, just perhaps, maybe 50 Cent's son saw the bitch in his dad. Do you know how traumatic that would be? And I hope that none of you brothers listening can relate to that experience. I know I can't. But imagine your father, man. You see the bitch in him to the point where he just let you down. And you running around here praising white women like that. See, this isn't some shit that just sprung up overnight. A Negro with this mentality, that's been there for a long time, even before he became famous. You better understand something about these type of people. See, money and success only make you more of who you already were. They don't change you. See, that's a misnomer a lot of people have. When you become successful, all it does is make you more of who you are. You now have resources and capital to do things that you once weren't able to do on a larger scale. I would not be surprised if you talk to people that knew this motherfucker and they told you, hey man, that's how he always was. White women come around, lose his fucking mind. We need soldiers out here, man. We don't have time for this bullshit. Motherfuckers in our ranks like this have to go. They have to go. Because all it takes for him to betray the group is some white pussy, apparently. Never mind the rest of you niggas. As long as I can get what makes me happy. Let me ask you something. I'm talking to the brothers right now. For those of you that are on this stream who are fathers that have sons, you know that your son in particular is looking up to you to learn how to be a man. Everything you do, everything you say in front of that child is teaching and training that child. No matter what you tell them, they're looking at what you do and how you carry yourself. Do you want to carry yourself like that in front of your son and leave that as a legacy to him? Or do you want to instill some type of dignity and integrity in your son so that they come up able to lead the way you lead and even surpass you? Because that's supposed to be the goal, to raise your children to surpass you. Not just equal you, surpass you. Now let's go to the opposite side of it. I'm talking to the sisters. If you have a husband, baby father, whatever your situation may be, and he's this type of fuckboy right here, and your daughter is looking at that as the first introduction to what a black man is supposed to be, do you know how that's going to affect her mindset? See, that's where you get these feminists like the Jamel Hills, Jamila Lemieux, the Candace Owens and so on and so forth that I could keep on naming and be here forever. When you look back at their issues and look at the people that raised them, particularly their fathers, it was some fuck boy like this. That shit creates a whole new generation of them. See, you have to get past the point in life when you become a man. Even if you never get to this Negro's level of success as far as economics, you have to stand on principle as a damn man. As a black man in this country, you can't afford to be oblivious to what's going on out here, shucking and jiving and playing all the damn time. As an example of your character, that's way off code, man. It's a time and a place for everything. It's a time and a place to joke about things and some shit that you just don't play around with at all. So for me, there's no walking this back. I can't tell the rest of you what to do, but I know I am not fucking with a bitch nigga like this. And if you got bitch niggas around you like this, I would advise you to think long and hard about keeping that type of company before they cost you. That never ends well. That's some food for thought for you. You do what you want, but you better look at the track record and history of bitch niggas like this. You think about all the rebellions that we've had in this country that were thwarted. It was because of a nigga like this. And his counterparts on the bedwent side. You sit here and allow yourself to be treated like a damn pet of the dominant society, being rewarded with a damn Scooby snack the minute they say something to tickle your damn ears. That's absolutely pathetic, family. That's pathetic. And I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about any one of these motherfuckers that's like him. Any one of them. See, consider this also. With his situation and the things that he's done over the years, conducted himself like a big ass overgrown kid all the damn time. Ask yourself this. When you look at what he's done and accomplished, how much more could he have gotten done in the interest of actually helping black society if he wasn't fucking playing all the goddamn time? Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. I absolutely went there. How much more could this playing Negro have done for black society if he wasn't joking, goofing around, and playing all the damn time? See, the I'ma do me shit, and I'm just worried about me. Here's the problem with that. A lot of you may say, he don't owe us nothing. That's his money. He can do whatever he wants to with it. You're right. But I'm going to tell you what else you can also say. If that's your attitude, you don't need to make any money off black society. We don't owe you a damn thing either. See, if you don't, we are going to have to teach not only this Negro, but all these other groups, especially these damn politicians on both sides of the aisle. If you don't fuck with foundational black Americans, we don't fuck with you either. You're not going to get our money and make profit off of us or get our votes and then don't do anything for us in return. The least this bitch nigga could do is stand on principle. See, that's one thing you have to respect about Muhammad Ali. He was willing to sacrifice and lose things to maintain his integrity as a black man. He didn't put money before his people. He didn't put no white bitches before his people. He didn't put anything before his people. Now you tell me, who do we have like that left nowadays that's in the spotlight? Very few. And see, that's why I have to give our brother Ice Cube his props. For you brain dead, slow motherfuckers, that's exactly what you're supposed to do in business. You take your business proposal to both sides and see who's going to work with you. That's not an endorsement for either person. When you see your rider standing up for you, you got to stand up for them and support them versus this fuck boy and those like him. You got motherfuckers like Lil Wayne running around up here trying to endorse Donald Trump. And then you got clowns, too many to name, celebrities, black men and women running, kissing the Democrats' ass. Nobody that they're talking to is of the notoriety of a Dr. Claude Anderson. None of them have the wherewithal to propose anything tangible as far as economics specifically for black society, in particular foundational black Americans as far as reparations is concerned, and none of them are talking about punishment of race soldiers. Everybody that they talk to, these politicians, are fucking flunkies. Some of them aren't even black. An airhead like Cardi B, Lil Wayne. You've seen them. I don't even have to keep naming names. It's an insult, family. They don't go and talk to the fucking flunkies of any other society. See, that's what it means to be on code. You have some pride and integrity and stand up for something. When I look at this motherfucker, man, and I scroll back down here and look at this damn tweet. Look at this shit, man. Sit here and just look at this and read this. You can see the screen. He's probably been sitting up here all this damn time, pining and moaning over and trying to figure out how he could get back with this damn woman or get her to deal with him in any kind of way. And as soon as she snapped at his ass, he hopped back in line like a little fucking punk ass puppy. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. We can't win a war with motherfuckers like this on our side of the damn fence. That's going to have to be cut off. It's going to have to be. You cannot win with your traitors amongst you. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to tell y'all like this. From now on, take inventory of the people that call themselves speaking for us, representing us, and look out for those that are off code like this. Because, see, it's important that we send a message not only to them, but we send a message also to the youth that are watching us and looking at the people that we give passes to. The people that we co-sign or still fuck with when they have off-code behavior like this. They're watching us. They're watching us. They are black society's future. If you don't think anything other than that, remember those words. They are black society's future. That being said, I will see you all in future content. I am going to keep dropping the hammer on these bitch ass niggas like this every chance I get because we cannot afford to give them passes. That time is through. It's time to clean house in black society. Stay safe. Black first. See you all in future content.